What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be ranking each male UFC division based on level of competition from most to least competitive. The only real criteria for the rankings are how dominant the current champ is, how evenly matched the top contenders are, and how exciting the title eliminator fights and potential rematches are. Starting off, we have welterweight, which is hands down the most competitive division. Out of all the current champs in their next matches, you've got Pantoja and Van, Merab and Sandhagen, Volk, whose next fight hasn't been announced, Ilya versus literally anybody, Paddy, Armand, Gaethje, whoever, JDM versus Islam, Hamza, whose next fight hasn't been announced, Ank versus Pereira, and then Aspinall versus Gane. Islam is easily the most likely contender in any division to beat the current champ. There's also a bunch of exciting title eliminator fights to make. You've got Bilal versus Usman, two grappling heavy former champs with some personal beef. Bilal versus Shavkat, who was supposed to fight. Shavkat versus Usman, again, two grapplers. You also have Islam versus Usman, again, two grappling heavy guys, both former champs. Buckley versus Covington, a near retirement vet versus a young contender. Both have losses to Usman. There's also some exciting rematches to make. You've got the obvious one with Usman versus Leon to finish out that trilogy. Usman's down 0-2, but one of those losses was due to a lucky head kick, and he was up 4 rounds prior to that. I think Leon's on his way out, so Usman can definitely pull off a win to finish that trilogy. You've also got Bilal versus Brady. Bilal, the decision merchant, managed to knock out Brady, who was a top contender in the division. I think that can make for an exciting rematch and possible title eliminator depending on who wins between Islam and JDM. Coming in at second, we have featherweight. Right now we have Volk as champ, who his win against Lopez is aging pretty well after Lopez just KO'd Silva, but I don't think it's out of line to think that he'll be retiring in his next 1-2 fights max. I mean, prior to beating Lopez, he took two back-to-back knockout losses against Islam and Ilya respectively. On top of that, he's in his late 30s, so I think win or lose, he retires in his next fight or two. Try to avoid going the Tony Ferguson route. As far as top competitors go, you've got Evloev, Murphy, Lopez are all the most likely to get a title shot. You've got Evloev undefeated in the UFC, but super inconsistent. His last fight was a win against Aljamain Sterling in December of 2024, so almost a year ago. You've got Murphy, who he's undefeated, but his last one was against Aaron Pico, an unranked fighter. Then you've got Lopez, who just lost to Volk. I mean, I know he's coming off the win against Silva, which was pretty amazing. That fight was close leading up to that, so I wouldn't be surprised if any of these three guys gets a title shot next. Silva, I see him being one, maybe two fights away from a title shot himself. As far as rematches go, there's no real exciting ones. I mean, maybe Ortega versus Rodriguez to make it a trilogy, but Ortega's having a tough time making weight at featherweight. He'll either go up to lightweight or just retire. This division, I mean, the top 10 is, I'd say, 2 wins away max from a title shot, and then everyone 11 and under is 50-50 at best. They've got no real shot at a title fight. Coming in at third, we have middleweight. Personally, I don't believe anybody in this division beats Hamza. I mean, the guy's an absolute animal. We saw how he did DDP, put him in a crucifix 3 times, had 520 strikes against him. I know only like 37 were significant, but crushed Whitaker's jaw. Just an absolute animal. Just cannot be stopped, cannot be beat. I don't think anyone in this division does it. The only reason I have it at third is because how competitive the top contenders are against each other. I mean, you've got Imavov versus Brawlo going the distance. There are some exciting matchups to make. I would love to see Hamza versus Imavov, Hamza versus Hernandez. I know that Dana says the winners of Brawlo and Imavov, which was Imavov, and then Hernandez versus RDR, whichever fight winners of those fighters wins more decisively gets to fight Hamza. So I wouldn't mind seeing Hernandez, RDR, or Imavov fight Hamza. If, say, RDR beats Hernandez or vice versa super decisively, I'd love to see them fight Hamza and then the other two fight each other. Imavov versus the loser of Hernandez, RDR. DDP versus RDR. We were all talking about making that fight a month ago until he lost the belt to Hamza, and now everyone's kind of forgotten about DDP. Everyone's worried about Hernandez, RDR, and Imavov. It'd be nice to see Izzy versus MVP, two strikers, both kind of unk, on their way out. Strickland versus Whitaker. That fight's never been made. I think that would be a nice fight. Strickland is on a losing streak to DDP, and then you've got Whitaker, who he's on a losing streak to Hamzat and RDR, but both are top guys, so no disrespect to Whitaker whatsoever. I think Whitaker honestly can take that. Strickland's looking a little heavy in his offseason. I think, cutting down the weight, I don't think Strickland will be able to make middleweight too much longer. He looks real big. He looks slower in some of the videos I've seen against Alex Pereira sparring. The only real exciting rematch to make in the division, I would say, is Izzy versus Strickland. Again, both former champs, both on their way out, both coming off of losses. I mean, both those losses are against top guys. He's possibly fighting for the belt, and then you have Strickland, who lost to DDP, who was the champ, so no disrespect to either. Coming in at number 4, we have light heavyweight. I'd say this is where things start to get less competitive. You have Ankalaev, who seems unstoppable, but I wouldn't say he's nearly as unbeatable as, Aspinall, Pantoja, or Hamzat. We have seen leg kicks tear him up pretty badly against Blachowicz. Yuri and Roundtree especially both have great leg kicks. So, but on the other hand, Pereira sleeps everybody. He's knocked out Yuri twice, knocked out Hill, knocked out Roundtree. He couldn't put Ankalaev away. So honestly, I could see this going either way. I could see Yank staying for a while, no one stopping him. I could see, another striker wearing him out, but nobody beats his wrestling, that's for sure. There's some exciting new matchups. I'm excited to see Yuri versus Roundtree. It's going to be an amazing fight. I have no doubt in my mind that whoever wins that will fight for the belt. Guskov versus Rakic. Guskov was the underdog in the Nikita Krylov fight. Put him away, decisively knocked him out. Rakic is kind of a guy that just sits in the middle of the division. I don't know how he never moves up or down. I don't know how he doesn't move down, I should say. I think that's a good stepping stone for Guskov to see if he can move up, get some fresh blood in there. Dominic Reyes, I'd love to see him move up. We'll see how he does against Olberg. Some rematches to make. Blachowicz versus literally anybody. I mean, he's got the decision loss to Olberg. He's got a split decision to Pereira, which, who goes the distance against Pereira, let alone a split decision? A draw with Ankalaev. I mean, Ankalaev beats everybody by decision, so, to have a draw with him would be pretty unheard of. I would love to see that fight again. Yuri versus Reyes, we'll see how that goes. If they fight, I'd love to see them fight. I could see Reyes, if Reyes wins and then Yuri loses to Roundtree, I could see those two fighting each other. Coming in at number 5, I've got Bantamweight, and I'd say this is where things stop becoming fresh, exciting, competitive. You've got Merab, who's a dominant champ. He just beats everybody, but unfortunately, he won't become a 2-division champ, or he won't try to. Part of it is outside of his control, with Pantoja saying he wouldn't go up to fight at Bantamweight, and then Merab saying he wouldn't go up to featherweight, so it sucks that we won't get a super fight with Merab, against Pantoja or Volk. As far as exciting matchups go, I'd say there's really none just due to the division being shallow. I mean, maybe Umar versus Jan, but Umar, he took a loss to Merab. I don't understand why he's not fighting a top guy. He's got to fight against Batista coming up. If he's going the distance against Umar with a broken hand, I mean, he should dominate Batista. And then Jan, I mean, I don't know why they booked that Marcus McGee fight in the first place, so maybe if they both win, they'll fight each other for a shot at the belt. No exciting rematches. I mean, nobody wants to see O'Malley versus Merab for a third time. Nobody wants to see O'Malley versus Jan. Nobody wants to see O'Malley versus Vera Cheeto, who, his last 8 opponents were over 35. No one wants to see that. I'd say this division is pretty stale. Coming in as the 6th most or the 3rd least competitive division, we have lightweight. Nobody beats Ilya. The only exciting matchups to make are Arman versus Ilya, but Ilya said he won't fight Arman, and somehow Dana's not forcing them to fight. If that doesn't happen, then Arman versus Paddy, Gaethje, whoever. I just want to see Arman fight. It's been a year since he fought Oliveira. Holloway and Hooker, they aren't in line for title shots, so they might as well put on a great fight night and just absolutely destroy each other. If these two fight, someone's leaving in a stretcher for sure. BSD versus Chandler Orfaziev. BSD surprised us all. He beat Rufy, took that win. So Chandler and Fiziev, no one expects to become champ, let alone fight for a belt. So they're both decent stepping stones, I'd say, for any up-and-coming young guy, any contender. I think these are some decent milestones. Chandler and Fiziev always put on a good fight. You know, they're dogs. They go the distance. No exciting rematches. I said they're all predictable. I mean, Gaethje versus Holloway. Holloway is looking amazing at a lightweight. Put Gaethje away. Went the distance against Poirier. You could tell he went a little light on him towards the end. Holloway versus Ilya. I say Ilya takes that easily. Chandler versus Oliveira. I mean, that'd be a third time Oliveira beats Chandler. Chandler versus Patty. There's no reason to make that fight. Gaethje wouldn't fight Chandler. That would be a great fight, Gaethje versus Chandler, in my opinion, but Gaethje wouldn't do it. And then Dariush versus Moicano. Nobody wants to see that, man.
Coming in at 7th, we've got heavyweight. Aspinall is just a beast, man. Nobody in this division beats him. He's already beat 5 of the top 8 fighters all in the first round. You've got Blades, who has a win against Aspinall, but Aspinall beat him decisively in a rematch. Pavlovich, Spivak, Tybura, Volkov. Interestingly, Volkov is the only one that he beat by submission. All the rest are by knockout. The only person in the division that stands a decent chance is Gone, and the odds on Aspinall winning are -400, so that just goes to show there's really no faith in Gone beating Aspinall. The guy's just absolutely unstoppable. The only person that would be exciting to see him fight is Jailton Almeida, who isn't even that exciting of a matchup. It's just that they've never fought before. Almeida's coming off a win against Spivak. The only exciting rematch to make is Gone versus Volkov. You know, the score is 2-0 in favor of Gone, but realistically it should be 1-1. Volkov arguably won their rematch. Finally, we have flyweight. Unlike middleweight, lightweight, and heavyweight, where the champs just dominate everybody, Pantoja's lapping his division. He's beat Royval twice, Moreno twice. He's beat Asakura, Cap, Kai Kara France, and he beats them all in dominant fashion. I think the most exciting fight is obviously Van versus Pantoja, but he was unranked. He just beat Royval at number 1. I don't know how they made that fight in the first place, but it'd be nice to see Royval versus Cop, a Royval Moreno trilogy, but this division, I want to say it's pretty stale. I mean, we've seen everybody against Pantoja. No one can do anything. And unfortunately, there's no chance of a super fight with Merab. He said he has no interest in going up. So this division is hands down the least competitive in the organization. That about does it for this video, guys. Let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know in the comments if you agree, disagree, what videos you want to see next, and I'll catch you in the next one.